Well, the Warriors have won a season-high 4 in a row, looking to complete their first 5-0 homestand in exactly 4 years. But to do it, they're going to have to take down one of the best players in the game. He's only 20 years old. Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks, who handed the Dubs their worst loss of the season, a 48-point defeat back on November 20th. But this is not your November Dubs. As we welcome you into Thrive City here, NBC Sports Studios at the Gatehouse. Kelli Johnson filling in for Greg Pop alongside Gary St. Jean and, of course, the Hall of Famer Chris Mullin. I'm happy to be here. A 4-game win streak coming in just in time. They're hot, and they're growing, Saint, as we saw last night. A comeback victory. They trailed by as many as 13 over by the Phoenix Suns, and, of course, had a huge fourth quarter. As D'Angelo Russell said, they are growing. They are learning how to win down the stretch. Well, as devastating as last night's loss was in a doubleheader split with the Padres, the Giants still have control of their own destiny this weekend with just 2 games remaining. So it is simple: win and they're in, although it will not be that easy. Welcome into this edition of Giants Pregame Live, brought to you by Wendy's. Kelli Johnson, Sean Estes. It really is a situation where the Giants just have to take care of business. If they win tonight, they can clinch a postseason bid, along with a loss by both the Phillies and the Cardinals. However, those two teams are now winning their games tonight as we look at the current NL postseason standing. So the Giants do hold that 8th and final wildcard spot. Mets were eliminated earlier today with a loss to the Nationals, so one less team to worry about. But Sean, both the Phillies and Brewers own tiebreakers over the Giants, so they can't take anything for chance. They just got to win these final 2 games, and they don't have to worry about anything else. Welcome back to Warriors Pregame Live, brought to you by Subway. We are awaiting Steph Curry, and this is the injury right here. It happened on October 30th in a loss at the Suns. Driving, Aaron Baines falls on Steph's left hand, fracturing it. He required surgery, and he's now expected to be out until February, although there were a lot of reports that came out, one in particular from Brandon Payne, his personal trainer, speaking to Tom Haverstow's podcast, questioning whether he could come back at all because it was a more significant injury. I know you're familiar with hand injuries, having had 3, and also just suggesting, the season's not necessarily probably going to go anywhere. Will he come back at all? I'm sure Steph will be asked many, many questions. Steve Kerr says, he's bored already. He can't wait to come back. But your thoughts on that?
Welcome back to the Super Bowl edition of 49ers Central. Kelli Johnson, Ian Williams rejoins us, and of course Matt Mayoka, as we continue the discussion on Super Bowl 54. It is going to be strength on strength. You have the number 1 pass defense in the 49ers going up against that electric, explosive offense of the Kansas City Chiefs. And as we all know, it really starts up front for this defensive unit with the pressure they are able to get on quarterbacks. Look at this. The Niners are tied with the Chargers for most combined sacks among first-round picks in a single season. These numbers do include the playoffs. 44 sacks. Ian, you're an interior defensive line guy. Talk about the additions, most noticeably, really, of the speed rushers in D. Ford and Nick Bosa this year that kind of made it all come together, and those guys on the back end able to eat.
When I first started covering the Super Bowl, it was during the day on Tuesday. So there's a totally different energy when it's in prime time. It's opening night. It's media night. I love this night because you really get to see in the guys' eyes it become a reality that they're here. They're in the Super Bowl. They're 1 win away from winning a championship. And this is like when it sinks in. And they got media coming from all sides, from all over the world. There are silly questions. There are serious questions. I even had Jeff Wilson take my mic and go ask Raheem Mostert a question and bombard his podium, and of course he asked a question about Jeff Wilson. It was great. But my first objective...
Can't wait to see that, by the way.
My first objective, though, when the Chiefs came out first, was to actually go find defensive end Frank Clark, because as we found out last week from Draymond Green, the two are very close. In fact, they consider themselves brothers, so I wanted to find out why. Fitting for Panda to come up with a home run on a day in which they were honoring Bruce Bochy, who's, of course, retiring, and he's a Padres legend. So before the game, he had a ceremony, and then it's his son hits the home run to send him home happy. But some eye-popping numbers to check out over this streak that the Giants are on. Again, now they're 2.5 back of a wild card spot as you look at this. 17-4 in July. That's a major league best right now. 11-2 in extra inning games this season. That also leads the majors. And 25-10 in one-run games, most wins. And 9 of those have come in the stretch of 18 wins in 22 games. It's a toll on a team. But Bruce Bochy's also found a way to really manage this team and that bullpen. They had 5 innings of shutout ball last night.
Welcome back to downtown Miami and 49ers Central. I'm Kelly Johnson. Why Bay Area sports teams are united in supporting the 49ers quest for a Super Bowl title. It's been the addition of defensive end Dee Ford that's really united the Niners defensive line and brought all those former first-round draft picks together and making them one of the best pass rushing fronts in all of football. And now that the Niners are facing Dee's former team in the Kansas City Chiefs, he's become even more invaluable for his knowledge of Patrick Mahomes and that offense. Although, as DeForest Buckner told me, anything he shared with the team is top secret. But as for being a huge difference maker on this line, Dee Ford, well, he told me he doesn't really see it that way. Now, earlier today, I spoke with Hall of Famer and 49ers Super Bowl champ Deion Sanders, who was quick to say, don't underestimate Jimmy Garoppolo. So when I asked him what he loves about his game, he said he's here. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the game. He loves everything he brings to the table and loves what they put around him to insulate him. Deion also pointed to his winning percentage, which, by the way, is 82%, with Jimmy G 23-5, including the playoffs, as a starter. From downtown Miami, Kelly Johnson, let's send it back to Dream.